Today is April 6th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we're still on Chapter 6 in action. We'll read page 83. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on step 11. We'll read page 105. And of course, we'll read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. It's the beginning of another new week. It's Monday. It's kind of cool. You know, I look at Mondays a little different now. Every day is about the same because you got that 24 hours a day kind of mentality. But on a bigger picture, I go, okay, well, maybe there's a new healthy routine I can build this week. But again, even if not, all I have to worry about is the 24 hours ahead. Also, I want to apologize for my voice. Still not quite 100%. Last few days, I must have jinxed myself. I said, I feel fine. I just sound bad. Well, now I'm starting to feel bad too, but that's okay. The show must go on, and it's an honor to be here. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, we were talking about the tornado that our alcoholism caused and how one of the very first things we should do is put the bottle down. But we have a long road of reconstruction ahead. And that's what page 83 is all about. Yes, there is a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. A remorseful mumbling that we're sorry won't fill the bill at all. We ought to sit down with the family and frankly analyze the past as we now see it, being very careful not to criticize them. Their defects may be glaring, but the chances are our own actions are partly responsible. So we clean house with the family, asking each morning in meditation that our Creator show us the way of patience, tolerance, kindliness, and love. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not urge them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves that we would right them if we could. Some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter. And there may be a valid reason for postponement in some cases. But we don't delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't crawl before anyone. And tomorrow we will get to the promises, the 9-step promises. The 12 and 12 are on step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him. Praying only for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. And we left off on a beautiful note where on 105, inescapably the conviction came that God does move in a mysterious way His want us to perform, and how we pray for His will to be done instead of our own. So we're on page 105. All this should be very encouraging news for those who recoil from prayer because they don't believe in it, or because they feel themselves cut off from God's help and direction. All of us, without exception, pass through times when we can pray only with the greatest exertion of will. Occasionally, we go even further than this. We are seized with a rebellion so sickening that we simply won't pray. When these things happen, we should not think too ill of ourselves. We should simply resume prayer as soon as we can, doing what we know to be good for us. Perhaps one of the greatest rewards of meditation and prayer is the sense of belonging that comes to us. We no longer live in a completely hostile world. We are no longer lost and frightened and purposeless. The moment we catch even a glimpse of God's will, the moment we begin to see truth, justice, and love as the real and eternal things in life, we are no longer deeply disturbed by all the seeming evidence to the contrary that surrounds us in purely human affairs. we know that God lovingly watches over us. We know that when we turn to Him, all will be well with us, here and hereafter. "24 hours a day, April 6th. AA thought for the day. All alcoholics have personality problems. They drink to escape from life, to counteract feelings of loneliness or inferiority, or because of some emotional conflict within them that means they cannot adjust themselves to life. Alcoholics cannot stop drinking unless they find a way to solve their personality problems. That's why going on the wagon doesn't solve anything. That's why taking the pledge usually doesn't work. Was my personality problem ever solved by going on the wagon or taking the pledge? Meditation for the day. God illuminates your life with warmth of His Spirit. You must open up like a flower to this divine illumination. Loosen your hold on earth, its cares and its worries. Unclasp your hold on material things. Relax your grip, and the tide of peace and serenity will flow in. Relinquish every material thing and receive it back again from God. Do not hold on to earth's treasures so firmly that your hands are too occupied to clasp God's hands as He holds them out to you in love. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be open to receive God's blessing. I pray that I may be willing to relinquish my hold on material things and receive them back from God. Daily Reflection, April 6th. A lifetime process. We were having trouble with personal relationships. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. And we couldn't seem to be of real help to other people. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 52. These words reminded me that I have more problems than alcohol. That alcohol is only a symptom of a more pervasive disease. When I stopped drinking, I began a lifetime process of recovery from unruly emotions, painful relationships, and unimaginable situations. This process is too much for most of us without help from a higher power and our friends in the fellowship. When I began working the steps of the AA program, many of these tangled threads unraveled, but little by little, the most broken places of my life straightened out. One day at a time, almost imperceptibly, I healed. Like a thermostat being turned down, my fears diminished. I began to experience moments of contentment. My emotions became less volatile. I am now, once again, a part of the human family. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. And man, some really good stuff today. I love on page 83 of the Big Book, talking about how, us just mumbling, we're sorry, it's probably not going to cut it. It says right here, our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that our 10 or 20 years of drunkenness will make a skeptic out of anyone. So, all I can do is show that I'm sorry. Do the work. My behavior will convince my wife and my children and those around me more than my words. And this will take time. And I believe it was the Daily Reflection was talking about that. How we change over time, almost imperceptibly. The things that used to bother us after we do the steps and have this spiritual awakening, they don't seem to bother us as much over time. I've noticed that when I stick with what I know works for me, and I put in the reps over and over and over again, I do see it. Certain things don't bother me anymore, or as much, I should say. And I also heard too, like we were just saying, actions speak louder than words. A dear friend of mine would always say, Gratitude without action is just a pleasant emotion. How can I show my gratitude today? Well, one thing I can do, and I've been thinking about this specifically today, is I can text all the people in my circle, tell them I love them, and ask them if I can help them in any way. You know, I got some pretty tough news this week, and I won't get too far into the weeds with it, but it was a reminder that this life is so fragile, and honestly, nothing's a guarantee. So I always heard from a Christian marriage counselor for like 40 years, he said, if you have a positive thought about somebody, why not tell them? You know, instead of assuming they know, why not just tell them? Because once again, life is so short. And the whole Carpe Diem mentality, Dead Poet Society, right? I love that movie. That's a way that I can seize this set of 24 hours. On a Monday, no less, right? Paving the way of positivity for the rest of the week, in spite of the circumstances around me. But my friends, that's all I've got today. I hope you all have a great one. If you are sober today, my friend, I hope you know that you're a miracle. And those who love you are very proud of you. And you're giving a great gift to everyone around you. And you have a unique superpower to help the next suffering alcoholic. It's a wonderful thing. And if you are not sober today, my friend, I hope you know that you're a miracle as well. That you're here for a reason, in my humble opinion. And your story is not done yet. You read any one of the personal stories, or you listen to anybody's sober story, where they talk about their experience, strength, and hope in their early experience in the throes of alcoholism. Their story was not done yet. So I just pray that you would get the help that you need. And you don't have to do it alone. There are people dying to help you. And in turn, you're helping them by letting them help you. It's a crazy thing, this AA stuff. And speaking of which, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect or denomination. I am just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery. Honored to be here at 3:44 in the morning. So, if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.